Good morning, Dustin Hanson with the City of Sioux Falls Public Works Division. Today we're going to bring you several updates on this winter season. We've already had our first taste of snow this past weekend. Hearing reports of 2 to 3 inches. Could have been a little bit more if we had colder temps, but sounds like the crews did a really good job on Saturday coming in and treating the streets, and so that hopefully everybody kind of knows that's your time to kind of get prepared for this upcoming winter. So with winter weather approaching, obviously we prepare the entire year, whether it's procuring equipment, putting our employees through snow school, equipment training, getting our contractors on board. So we have a lot of things that we do so that we can make sure we keep our transportation system running safely and efficiently and keep the city of Sioux Falls open whether we get snow, ice, any type of precip in the winter. So we're going to have a few reminders today for residents on what to do before and during the snow event and after. So we'll kind of go through those this morning. Monitoring the weather, of course, our team monitors the weather. We work very closely with the National Weather Service. Our local media has their own. I know there's several weather apps out there. I would just warn to be careful where you're getting your weather information, just to make sure it's accurate. Snow alert, we don't always call a snow alert. Just like this past weekend, that was not a snow alert. That was just more of a small event for us. When we call a snow alert, we will obviously let the community know that we're going to call that, and we'll talk about signing up for those text alerts and what everything goes along with those snow alerts. When we do call a snow alert, that means we're going to plow every single street within the city. That's not private streets. We do not plow private streets, or we do not plow the interstates. Those are handled by the South Dakota DOT. So this would be just the City of Sioux Falls owned streets. And when we call the snow alert, it could vary. Sometimes we're calling the snow alert at that 3 to 4 inch, and then depending on what the weather looks like ahead of that, if it's going to stay cold, if we've had several rounds of snow, we'll typically call a snow alert. With this last one, obviously, with temperatures on our side, and if we would have got to 5-6 inches, we likely wouldn't have called one for this event either, just because we've got beautiful weather today and the rest of this week. So every event is different, but it typically takes that 3 to 4 inch mark before we even think about calling a snow alert. When we do call a snow alert, one of the most important things is parking. We want to make sure that vehicles get off the streets. It's one of our biggest issues. When we send our plow drivers out, we want to be able to plow that street efficiently, not have to come back to those areas where there was a car parked, and our PD is ticketing and towing those vehicles. Very inefficient if our teams have to come back and do those, and unsafe as well. We're trying to clear these streets for emergency vehicles. We need to make sure that those vehicles can get through across the city. Just a little to cover the operations. We have a very large operation. When we do call a snow alert, like this past weekend, that was probably close to 100 people that worked that event. But when we call a snow alert and we're plowing the entire city, we could have well over 300 employees. That's 200 employees just out plowing streets, emergency routes, residential streets. We also have over 100 contract employees. These are working for the contractors under our agreements. Then we also have people kind of behind the scenes. We have our fleet division making sure to keep our motor graders, our sanders up. We have a one contact team. Our civics team is updating maps of that, our live tracker maps. And obviously fire, PD, they have to continue to do their jobs, but and also do some ticketing. So we have a lot of team members, so it's truly a one-team effort when we get into those large snow events to clear the entire city, not just the streets, but our parks, our trails, sidewalks that the city owns. We have over 3,500 lane miles across the city. When we say lane miles, if you go on Minnesota Avenue, there's actually 5 lanes. A lot of cities will talk in center line miles. We talk in lane miles because when we go out for snow events, we have to clear every single lane, and that's when we speak in lane miles. And that's like going from Sioux Falls to San Diego and back. So you can just imagine the magnitude of what our teams have to clear. Like this past weekend, we cleared over 900 emergency lane miles, and then another 450 secondary lane miles. And if we were to call a snow alert, that would be over 3,500 lane miles that would clear across the city. Like we said, it's a one-team effort across the city, but it's also within the city, but also externally. It takes the residents to do their job, to make sure that you're not parking on those streets, whether we're in Zone 1, downtown, clearing that, or Zone 2. We just want to make sure that we don't have cars parked. So you can sign up for snow alerts. You can text snow alert, all one word, to 888-777, and that'll get you signed up for our text alerts. And you can also additionally sign up for zones. You have to do that online. But this method will get you, if we call a snow alert, you'll get a text message saying the city has issued a snow alert. And then if you want additional information on zones 1, 2, or 3, you can sign up online to get those notifications as well. And just make sure that you're prepared. Obviously, we've had our first snowfall, but make sure you're prepared. This one was very well communicated to the public with good timing. And you can stay communicated with the city through our web pages, through our social media pages, also our website. SiouxFalls.gov/snow has a lot of great information. Our social media pages, Sioux Falls PD has their own page, Sioux Falls Fire, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. You can follow along there. And as I spoke earlier, know your zone. Zone 1 is basically our downtown area, and those streets will get cleared. As soon as we get snow or ice falling from the sky, those will get cleared immediately, and then that area will get picked up if we call a snow alert. That downtown snow will get picked up later. Zone 2, it's a little bit different. There's not as many driveways in Zone 2, so we do those a little bit differently. North-south streets will start at 8 a.m. Typically takes us 5 to 6 hours. And then east-west streets will start at 8 p.m. And those are to make sure that cars are moved either on the north or east side of those streets. And then Zone 3 is basically the rest of the city outside of the core. And you can always stay in tune with our interactive tracker map. It's not live, but it is updated past 5 a.m. about every hour. That'll show you the streets that have been completed. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Justin Christian to talk about some tips for property owners.
Hello, my name is Justin Christensen. I'm the property maintenance inspector here at the City of Sioux Falls. Our team does code enforcement as it pertains to sidewalk snow removal. So just a couple important things to be aware of as we move into the winter months. If we do see accumulating snow, property owners are responsible for clearing any accumulation of snow and ice from their sidewalks within 48 hours from the end of a snow event. When clearing sidewalks, be mindful that it needs to be cleared edge to edge, down to the concrete. Also, if you're fortunate enough to live on a corner lot, any curb ramp or corner lots that have curb cutouts, those areas do need to be cleared as well. What we like to see is edge to edge, down to the concrete, making these sidewalks accessible from the street, whether you're walking, riding a bike, or maybe someone in a wheelchair that can access these areas. This is something that is required by city ordinance. If you do find yourself in violation, you can receive not only citations, but we would send a contractor out to clear the snow and ice from your sidewalk, and there would be an additional cost that would be charged to the property as well. So please be respectful of that. as well. A couple other things to keep in mind. If you're leaving town for the weekend, it's a good idea to talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, have a contractor lined up. If we do see accumulating snow while you're away, that you have someone in place to take care of that while you're gone, so you can avoid any citations or action from the city end on this. Another thing, when you are removing snow and ice from your sidewalks, please don't push it out into the street. That is also in violation of city ordinance. When we do that, that's just more snow that ends up at the end of your driveway, at the end of your neighbor's driveway, and something that's going to generate complaints for our office. So please be respectful of that as well. And just a quick reminder that there's many people in our community that use the sidewalks, not just for exercise, but for some people, this is their main source of transportation, whether they're walking to work, walking to the bank, going to the grocery store. There's people going out trying to get some exercise. So again, just a reminder, if we do see snow 48 hours from the end of the event, please have it cleared edge to edge down to the concrete and making them accessible for anybody, on foot, on a bike, or in a wheelchair. So if we can do that this winter, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. And with that, I will turn it over to Luke with Sioux Falls Fire Rescue.
Good morning, Luke Smith, Division Chief, Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. A few points that fire would like to talk to on the winter season. First is going to be the fire hydrants, as we've been talking about clearing snow, making sure that those fire hydrants are cleared within 3 feet of the fire hydrant. The purpose for this is to allow us easier access. When there's snow piled up, even up to the bottom, it makes it difficult for us to connect to the hydrant, which can slow down our response services. Now, we do have plans in place when that doesn't happen, but it significantly slows the process for us to get water onto the fire, which is ultimately one of our goals. And as the snow thaws and refreezes, it just turns into a giant ice block, and at that point, it rends that hydrant unusable, which is obviously a very large challenge. Kind of piggybacking off of clearing driveways and sidewalks, one thing that we do have a challenge with is when there's a medical event, getting up to a home that doesn't have clear sidewalks or clear driveways. If we need to bring a cot up to that residence, it can be very difficult. The cot wheels are only about 4 inches, so when we have large amounts of snow, getting a resident who needs assistance in and out of their home can be quite the challenge. So if you are unable to clear your own snow, or if you see a neighbor who maybe doesn't have their snow cleared, but you know that they are in need of assistance, this is a great opportunity to step up as a community, take care of each other, so that way we can all have the care that we need when we need it. In terms of just the colder conditions that come up with winter, we see a lot of space heater use. That is absolutely something that we encourage, keep yourself warm. But with that, there's some problems that have come about. When you're using a space heater, make sure that you follow the recommendations for that specific space heater on how much room should be around those space heaters. They're obviously putting off a lot of heat, and with heat can heat up other things besides just your room, including blankets, curtains, anything that's soft and flammable, which can lead to incidents and even to a structure fire. So we encourage that you follow the recommendations based off of what the heater manufacturer says. And then we do discourage the use of ovens for heat. We know that people come across some challenging times and may not have heat in their residence, but using an oven to heat your residence is not a good idea. There's lots of issues that can come with that, including structure fires. If you're running a gas stove, that gas can leak into the apartment, causing other medical problems. So there's a few things that we want to discourage, or at least encourage to use safely with the space heaters. With that, I will pass it on to Lieutenant Siebenborn, and he will talk about PD.
Good morning, Lieutenant Andrew Siebenborn, obviously with the Sioux Falls Police Department. Just want to start by echoing, Dustin talked a lot about just the great city partnerships that we have responding to snow events, and it truly is a one Sioux Falls effort. And when we think about that mantra and we think about that saying, snow alerts and snow events truly exemplifies the great relationship the PD has with all these other entities. So we all play our little role. I am going to talk about from the police perspective as far as ticketing and towing during a snow event. I echo, get yourself signed up for those snow alerts so you know when it's happening. When one is called, we do immediately start ticketing and towing from emergency snow routes. So if you're parked on an emergency snow route or you normally park on one of those, make sure you're aware, so that way you don't get ticketed and towed. And then the same thing goes with the other zones. Know when your zone's being plowed, get that alert and make arrangements now of where you can move your vehicles. You know, kind of rough estimate, if you get ticketed and towed during a snow event, it's around $200 if you get your car out immediately. So if any of you are like myself, we don't have $200 just to burn for something that's hopefully completely unavoidable. So make sure you get your vehicles moved so you can avoid incurring those fees and the hassle of getting your vehicle out of impound. We also encourage you to move the vehicles because it is very labor intensive for us to get out there and assist during the ticketing and towing of these events, and we would much rather have those resources from the police department utilized to respond for calls for service, to take active efforts in keeping the city safe, as opposed to ticketing and towing cars, which again is something with the help of the community we can limit that, and thus we can divert our assets to other things. When you do travel, or if it does get really, really, really bad, there could be travel advisories issued. Those travel advisories generally come from the South Dakota DOT. They can come from Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office. They can come from the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. They can come from the Sioux Falls Police Department. Please adhere to those travel advisories. None of those decision makers make those decisions, just to make them. They make them with everyone's safety in mind. And if you're out traveling during one of those events, if you get into trouble, or if you get into an area where you need assistance, then obviously there's other entities that have to respond in those conditions, and we just put a lot of people in danger of something, again, that could be avoidable. One of my favorite stories to tell when it comes to travel advisories and the things that can happen. There was a travel advisory. There was actually a do not travel advisory reference a winter weather event a couple years ago. I responded to a traffic crash, and when I was asking the person why they were out, they were trying to make their way to a local store because they needed to get some socks for a gift for a birthday party. So wasn't an emergency, wasn't anything like that, but again, they're in a traffic crash. They're driving during an event where we're telling people no traffic advised because they needed to get a birthday present. So that's the type of stuff that we can't have happen, because again, it's avoidable. Within the city, you're going limited distances, but if you are traveling outside the city during any one of these winter events, or anytime during the winter, now is the time to kind of prepare an emergency kit for your car. Maybe you have a flashlight, maybe you have a small snow shovel, maybe you have some extra blankets. When you are traveling, let your friends and family know your intended route of travel. Make sure you have a fully charged cell phone. If you're someone who's got one of those, small bank chargers you can bring for your cell phone, bring that as well, so that way you have a way to reach out if somehow something happens along the route. But plan ahead, tell people your route, so that way if you do get into trouble, there's people who know ahead of time. And again, piggybacking off of that, with these weather events, give yourself time. You're not going to get anywhere fast. It's simple physics. It's simple. Just when it's slick, when there's snow on or snow going down, you need to slow down. You need to increase your stopping distances and give yourself extra time to get to your locations. If you don't slow down, if you don't give yourself that extra distance, if you're traveling how you normally travel when the roads are clear, much like they are today, then you certainly run the risk of getting into a crash. And again, if you're out there and maybe you don't have a need to be out there, you also run the risk of someone crashing into you. And again, those, with those accidents come citations, property damage, and again, stuff that generally could be avoidable if we plan ahead. If you do need anything, always call 911 if there is an emergency. We will send our resources to help you. When it comes to the plowing, and Luke from Fire touched on this a little bit, get those cars moved, because When we plow, if those cars aren't moved, it starts to narrow the streets. When you're plowing already with the cars in there, the streets get narrower and narrower. Even if we tow your car, we've all seen it where now there's a ton of snow in the street, and when those snow events, the streets get a little bit thinner. And fire rescue and police and EMS, we have large equipment. So if we are responding to an emergency, we do want as much clearance on those roadways to get our equipment to help assist whoever is calling us. And then I'd just be remiss to talk about not just with snow events, but with the colder weather. A lot of people want to go outside and warm up their cars, and they'll leave their cars unlocked and running in their driveway. And this is just a great opportunity for people to take advantage of the situation and steal your car. So what I would tell you is a cold car is better than no car at the end of the day. So unless you've got a remote start or a way to secure your car or a way to keep an eye on it, or you may have to even just sit in your car as it warms up before others get in, just be very mindful that if you leave your car unattended, running and unlocked, that it is a crime of opportunity for someone to take your car. Does it happen a ton? No, but it certainly happens often enough. We've done a great job this year with citizens listening to us as far as locking their cars and not leaving their keys in their cars, where our number of stolen vehicles over the course of the year has gone down significantly. And we'd like to keep it this way, and this is just the time of year where that crime of opportunity comes up, because generally, nearly every morning or every couple of mornings when I'm on my way into work, I can check a call screen and someone says, hey, I started my car, left it running, and now it's gone. So I always use the mantra of, a cold car is better than no car. And with that, we are complete unless anyone has any questions that either myself or any one of the other team members can help answer. Well, awesome. Looks like we were perfect at this point, so appreciate it.